A Rabbinic Anthology selected by C.G. Montefiore and H.Loewe. Chapter 2. God's Love for Israel. In all honesty and sincerity, the rabbis believed that God and Israel were united together by a passionate love on both sides. Though Yahweh had become the one God of the whole world, yet throughout the Old Testament, he remained, in a peculiar sense, the God of Israel. And Tanakh is a different order than the Old Testament, and it doesn't have some of the intentional mistranslations towards a different doctrine. And Jesus wouldn't have considered it the Old Testament either, because we see that the Bible has Jesus say he didn't come to do away with any of the law, but to plarose, refurbish it, restore it, carry it out. Deutero Isaiah is the prophet of monotheism, and he may be justly called universalist in his tendencies, yet no Old Testament writer emphasizes more than he the peculiar love which God feels for Israel. Can a woman forget her suckling child, that she should not have compassion on the son of her womb? Yea, she may forget, yet will not I forget thee. Behold, I have graven thee upon the palms of my hands. Thy walls are continually before me, for thy Maker is thine husband. Words left out. The God of the whole earth. Such passages, hard for us to fit in with the God of the Copernican universe, or with our ideas of the supreme impartiality of God, were adopted and fully accepted by the rabbis. They even improved upon them and enlarged them. One must admit that many of their enlargements have a tender beauty of their own. Moreover, the love of God for Israel produced or corresponds with a most intense love of the rabbis for God. Now let me quote some of the passages dealing with God's exceeding love for Israel. 158 Pes R 50b. It is written in Exodus 17:15, and Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi. See page CI. Nissi means my banner. Is it Nashi or Nissi? But it could also mean my miracle. There was a king whose wife provoked him to anger, so he went to the market, entered a goldsmith's shop, and bought her an ornament. Now if, when she provoked him, he bought her an ornament, what would he not have done for her had she obeyed his will? So was it with Israel, when they provoked God and said, Is the Lord indeed in our midst or not? Exodus 17:7, he wrought miracles for them. Had they but done his will, how much more would he have done for them? Pass R50b. 159, Exodus R Wayat Hell 49:1. Many waters cannot quench love. Canticles 8:7. If the idolatrous nations of the world were to unite to destroy the love between God and Israel, they would be unable to do so. Exodus R Wayat Hell 49:1. 160 from Canticles R3, section 2, on 3:2, folio 22b. The crown wherewith his, Solomon's, mother crowned him, Canticles 3:2. R. Simeon ben Yochai asked R. Elazar ben R. Hoseh, did you hear from your father what crown this was? R. Elazar said, yes. R. Simeon said, how is it? He replied, it is like a king who had an only daughter, whom he loved exceedingly, and he called her my daughter, and his love for her did not cease growing till he called her my sister, and it did not cease growing till he called her my mother. So God loves the Israelites exceedingly, and he calls them my daughter, as it says, hearken, O daughter, Psalm 45:10, and his love for them did not cease growing till he called them my sister, as it says, open to me, my sister, my love, Canticles 5:2, and his love grew till he called them my mother, as it says, give ear to me, O my mother, Isaiah 1, verse 1 and 4, for Ame, my people, oh, Ame, I know that one. The Midrash reads punningly, Eme, my mother. Then R. Simeon arose and kissed R. Elazar upon his head, and said to him, if I had come to hear only this one interpretation from you, it would have sufficed me. Canticles R 3:2:2 on 3:2 and folio 22b. Now, some of these metaphors might have worked a little bit differently back in the day, and now, you know, you know what I'm talking about, the ones that make it sound incestuous. It's like, oh, why you say that way? But very well could have been different back in the day. The use of them, the people wouldn't have thought of it that way. Well, there was that thing, close to me, you're like my mother, close to me, like a sister or something. Oh, what was that group? Some R&B group, back in, what, the early 90s, something like that. 161, Mech Beshalach, Section 4, page 101, Mech 5, Volume 1, page 224. And the angel of God removed and went behind them. Exodus 14:19. And it is like a man who, on his journey, let his son walk in front of him. Robbers came in front to take the son captive, and he set the son behind him. A wolf came behind, he put the son in front. When robbers came in front and the wolves behind, he took the son up in his arms. When the son was distressed because of the sun, he spread his cloak over him, and when he was hungry, he gave him to eat. When he was thirsty, he gave him to drink. Then followed the ingenious proof text to show that God did all these things for Israel. Mech Beshalach 401, Mech 5, 1, 224, and selection 162, Mech Bechodesh Yitro, section 2, page 207, Mech volume 2, page 202. When Israel came out of Egypt and approached Sinai, God, before proclaiming the Decalogue, said, I bare you upon the wings of eagles and brought you unto me. Exodus 19:4. The Makiltas asks, why eagle's wings? How does the eagle differ from all other birds? The answer is that all other birds carry their young in their claws because they fear to be swooped upon from above, in which case the young can escape, while the dam is caught. But the eagle, which flies higher than any bird, fears man alone, lest he should shoot an arrow at her. The mother eagle says, better that the shaft pierce me than that it pierces my child. So the dam carries the young bird on its wings. Such is God's love for Israel. Mech Bechodesh Yitro 2, 207, Mech 2, 202. Selection 163 from Canticles R 6:16, 3 on 5:16, folio 32b. His mouth is most sweet. Canticles 5:16. R. Acha said in the name of R. Johanan, when the Israelites at Sinai heard the word I am, the first word of the 10 Commandments, their soul fled from them. As it says, my soul failed when he spake, Canticles 5:6. Then the word returned to God and said, Lord of the world, thou livest forever, and thy law lives forever, but thou hast sent me to the dead. Then God made the word sweet to them. It's left out. It is like a king who spoke to his son, and he was afraid, and his soul fainted within him. Then the king embraced and kissed him, and coaxed him, and said to him, What is the matter with you? Are you not my only one? Am I not your father? So, when God said, I am, the soul of the Israelites fled from them. Then the angels began to embrace them and kiss them, and said to them, What ails you? Fear not. Are you not sons of the Lord your God? And the Lord made the word sweet in their mouths, and he said to them, Are you not my sons? Am I not the Lord your God? Well, Lord is usually a mistranslation when you see it, but that might not be. The one before it was. Beloved are you to me. And so he coaxed them till their souls returned to them, and they began to pray before him, as it says, his mouth is most sweet. Or again the law besought God's mercy upon Israel, and said, Did ever a king give his daughter in marriage and kill his son-in-law? All the world rejoices because of me, and are thy children dead? At once their soul returned to them, as it says, The law of the Lord restores the soul. Psalm 19:8. Canticles R6, section 16:3 on 5:16, folio 32b. The rabbis notice that in Numbers 8:19, the words the children of Israel occur 5 times. So they say 164, Pesach 17a. See also selection 218 when we get to that. See how God loves the Israelites. In one single verse, he names them 5 times. Our Simeon B. Yochai said, Like a king who entrusted his son to a tutor and kept asking him, Does my son eat? Does he drink? Has he gone to school? Has he come back from school? So God yearns to make mention of the Israelites at every hour. Past K 17a, 218. Well, I'm recording this at a time there's been all sorts of natural fires. The point where people are starting to evacuate, and it's like, well, another type of Israelite, not the same racial group, but, is definitely staying in the news that way too. The rabbis seek to represent every conceivable way the intimacy of the relation between God and Israel, and the fervor of the passion with which Israel loves God, and with which God loves Israel. The final redemption will be brought about, not through Israel's merit or virtues or works, but because God, who shares Israel's distresses and even Israel's captivity or banishment, has, as it were, to deliver himself. 165, Exodus R, Mishpathim 30:24. My salvation is near to come, Isaiah 56:1. My salvation, not your salvation. If the word had not been written, it would have been impossible to say it. But God says to Israel, if you have no merit, I do it for my own sake, as if he said, all the days that you are in distress, I am with you, i.e., I too am in distress, even as it is said, I am with him in distress, Psalm 91:15. And as it is said, behold, thy king comes to thee, he is righteous and saved, Zechariah 9:9. For the word is not saving, but saved, even if there are no works in your hands. God does it for his own sake. The word noshah, which does literally mean saved, has actually in Zechariah 9:9 the signification of victorious. Exodus R. Mishpathim 30:24. The rabbis who knew their Bible by heart and had every sentence they required on the tip of the tongue were quick to see how constantly Israel is attacked by the prophets and how constantly it is blessed and praised. And by association, everybody who actually either disobeys, that curse comes, and the blessing, those who believe and obey. It is true that the attacks are of the present, the praises mainly of the future, but owing to the nature of the Hebrew tenses, this is less marked in the Hebrew than it is in the English translation. In the following passage, this dual aspect of the references to Israel is prettily emphasized. 166, Exodus R. Bo 15:20. The way or the method or the character of God is unlike the way of men. In a suit before a king, one man is prosecutor and one man is counsel for the defense. The prosecutor cannot be the counsel for the defense, or the counsel for the defense the prosecutor. Well, you can have a rule where no one's able to argue for what's not right, including, but with God it is otherwise. He can be both prosecutor and counsel for the defense. The same mouth which said, "Woe to the sinful nation," said also, "Open the gates that the righteous nation may come in," may enter in. Isaiah 1:4 and 26:2. The same mouth which said, "A people laden with iniquity," said also, "My people shall be all righteous." Isaiah 1:4 and 60:21. The mouth which said, "Yea, though ye make many prayers, I will not hear," said also, "Before they call, I will answer." Isaiah 1:15, 65:24. The same mouth which said, "Your new moons my soul hates," said also, "From one new moon to another shall all flesh come to worship before me." Isaiah 1:14 and 66:23. Exodus R. Bo 15:29. Now, one of the things that we do need to remember is that the month starts with the sighting of the crescent moon. Usually 29 days is not it, but sometimes it is. There's the lunar month is 12 hours and I forget how many minutes and seconds past 29 days. So there's going to be more 30-day months. But the thing is, the real observances, rather than all the various add-ons that have been put there, right? People requiring things that aren't prescribed is something that's not right.